Hey guys, Deck here with Deck Star Wars, and we're going to go over a spoiler-free review of The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 2, titled Chapter 10, The Passenger. Alright, so first off, this episode is pretty fantastic. It's not as good as the first one, but also the first one where it came in around 50 minutes. This one is about 35 minutes. So it is like an actual episode. That's a little bit of a negative, as I like the almost an hour or the 50 minute episodes. But it is a pretty good episode for what it is. There's a lot of emotion in this episode, as far as like, I guess, fear. And it really shows pretty good on what they're trying to convey. Okay, so basically, without spoiling anything, the premise of this episode is after episode 1, spoiler alert for episode 1, Din Djarin got the Boba Fett armor from Cobb Vanth due to their deal. And he's driving with a speed bike and all that stuff to return back to I guess it would be the mechanic who lent him the bike. Well, he doesn't know where any more Mandalorians are. He lost his leads. But another lead presents itself, and they will tell him, but he has to give safe passage. Pretty much, without going any like light speed or anything like that. And he doesn't want to do that, but he accepts. Alright, so this episode's really about kind of like the code, and you can't go back on your word. Once you take a job, you have to stick to that job until it's completed. You can't just say, never mind, the deal is off. A Mandalorian must go through with his job. So it's kind of about that. And this is where we see more of the child, or you all like to refer to him as Baby Yoda. This is a Baby Yoda episode. Pretty much, like, stuff happens, but this is all about pretty much Baby Yoda. So Din Djarin gets into a lot of crazy messes, right? And the thing about that is, it's not really avoidable. Din Djarin's getting in these messages because, or these I guess, problems because of, for one, the child not listening to him, and then also the passenger who he's reluctantly taking to her destination. So it's kind of like issues right there, right? And I think it's pretty good overall. Like, I really like this episode. So if you did see the toys and the pictures and like on Lego and all that kind of stuff, you will see a canister that is, you knew they are eggs. You don't know what kind of eggs you are. A lot of theories said they're Baby Yoda eggs, or they're, something like this, or they're clone eggs. We do see those in this episode, and they are not anything special. Okay, so it's just eggs from a species who needs to get home, pretty much. So that's about all there is to it. We do see the rebels in here, or the new resistance, or whatever you call it. We don't run into anyone from the first episode, except for the mechanic. So, I mean, that's overall, like, you could really see the fear of what happens. Very awesome looking creatures, very scary looking creatures. I would not like to be there. There is a planet on that everyone's theorizing on about the trailer. We don't know anything else about it. It's not said. It's just in the way. It doesn't tell you what the planet is. It doesn't tell you where they are. you don't see anything else. Like, it's just, all you know is he ended up, I guess, flying by this planet. But, you know, it's one of those episodes. Like, the first one is really action-packed and epic. And this one is just a good little story. And I like that. And, towards the end of it, you think if they learn their lesson, you know. It's like, oh, well, maybe the Mandalorian learned about the code that he's supposed to, you know, he needs to follow more. Maybe the passenger learned not to, you know, disobey the Mandalorian. Or the child. But then again, at the end of it, you don't know. It's just kind of, you gotta guess. And there's a little thing that happens at the end, which you're like, oh, well, you know, this person actually feels bad. And then, nope. You know, it's very interesting. Everything, it starts off really slow. And then it's got some real action in like the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And it's a short, contained story. Everything happens there. The story's not finished yet because he still hasn't got to his destination with the passenger. But that's the thing is, I don't know if we're going to start the next episode with him dropping the passenger off, or if it's going to start us with he already doing that. It could go either way. I don't think it's something that's important to the story. Overall, they did their own thing. And that's kind of where it leads down to is, it's exciting, but it's not as exciting as the first. It is really good. I really like this episode. I really love this episode. Saying that, I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10. I don't think it can get a 10 out of 10. I do enjoy seeing the child more. I really enjoy the emotions that they show with the child and how they did more with the child. So you can tell a little bit of like the puppetry, which is pretty good. I overall like it because the child's doing more. Before, you know, it would just like waddle to a door frame and look through. Or it will sit in the little pod thing. But this one, you know, he walks off and does his own thing and gets into mishap and misbehave, and you know, it's pretty good. You know, it's what a child would do. Like, he understands what the Mandalorian is telling him, and that's not fitting with what he wants to do. So he chooses what he does and all that kind of stuff. I actually thought he was going to possibly misbehave more, as in like maybe use his force powers on the Mando or something, but you don't really see that. Overall, it's a great episode. I'm going to have to give it a 9 out of 10. I really did like it. I can understand if people give this episode an 8. I actually really like the character moments and the emotions, and that is why it gets an extra point from me, honestly. So I really like this. One thing I like is that there's one line, it's not important to the story, but he's got the armor and he's bringing it back to the mechanic, which you already know that's going to happen. And she's like, first time you see a Mandalorian and you kill him? He's like, he's not dead. He wasn't a Mando. I bought it from him. She's like, oh, what'd that take? And he's like, I killed a crate dragon. Oh, is that all? That's easy. You know, it's, I like that little reference there. We don't see the pearl, so we don't know what happened with that, with the first episode. All we can assume is, you know, the Tusken Raiders went on their way with their pearl and their meat. The town folk went on their way. Cobb Vanth probably went home. The mystery guest at the end of the episode. It's not confirmed, although we do know who it is. We don't know what happened to him. I really thought that he was going to come in, and he didn't. which is weird. I thought that he was going to stop him, possibly from leaving, but no, we don't see him here, and I think that's weird. Although people do think that he might have been the person we see at the end of season 1, which could have been true. But yeah, overall 9 out of 10 for me. 8 out of 10 would be understandable. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed, and the next video I will be posting is going to be a vlog style video, and it's also going to have pictures from the episode. I'm going to try to do that. So that one will have spoilers in it. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know where you think everything's going to happen. If you're going to comment on this video, please try not to say spoilers. But do let me know if you enjoyed this episode down below. And go check out the spoiler video. That'll be up here soon. And I will see you all later. May the force be with you. Always.